You see yourself moving up different weight classes, 54, 60, 68, 75?
Not that high, but I don't see myself ever going above 60 throughout my career. The only issue is I don't have a desire to move out of the welterweight division because the welterweight division is just such a historical division. I've always wanted to make my mark at 147. So when I feel like my official mark has been made, Keith "One-Time" Thurman stamped his place in history at the welterweight division, then we'll talk about moving up.
You say you want to fight the best, and Canelo, they just announced that Canelo and Triple G is not going to happen until next year in the fall, so September 2017. A lot of people are a little disheartened by that because, what does that mean?
Well, I mean, you gave me news, and I can care less, man. It's really not. It's not my division. You're crying because you're a fan and you're not getting what you want. That's what this means. Boo-hoo. It's not happening. But it's happening, but it's not happening. It's just happening. They just announced it, but it's happening too far out. You know what I mean? And it is weird. Obviously they might have fights in between. Obviously injuries could occur, which would postpone it even further. Obviously that far out, there's no real hard evidence of a contract, so you could still be weary. I always say when it comes to all those announcements, you know what I mean? I want to know, do they have a set? Well, they got a set date, So do they have a set date, or do they just have like
it's changed.
month?
It's changed. Like they had an agreement to fight right after, and now that changed to next year. So it just kind of.
Hey man, and this is what I tell everybody. I had a buddy who bought tickets for me and Sean. He was listening to all the rumors, this, that. He bought a flight ticket to San Antonio in December, thinking that the fight was going to happen in December, okay? I said, look, man, sit back and just wait for more news. Sit back and just wait for more news. So the fight is, if that's what they're talking about, just sit back and wait for some more news. Don't jump to conclusions. Don't yada yada yada. Just let it present itself. I think Canelo has. Well, it's weird. Canelo's been competing at 155.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The dumbest catchweight in the world. Anyways, it is the dumbest catchweight in the world.
Why do you think it's dumb, Keith?
Because at 154, in almost like any state, for non-title matches, you're allowed to weigh 155. They give you a pound. For non-title matches, they give you a pound. So that's really all he did, was give himself a pound. BS, you know what I mean? Does he still hold a 154 title?
No, 160.
So just the 160 title.
But he gave up the belt just recently.
He just gave up the belt?
Yeah, because he was supposed to fight Triple G.
Oh, they were
Yeah, he said
issuing
I'm not gonna have. He didn't want the WBC to mandate him and force the negotiations because they had like 15 days to negotiate.
Yeah, he can go and he can make his money his way first, and he can still build it up. They still are. He's young enough. He can wait it out a little bit, and him and his team can sit back and create a plan and execute it the way that they want to do, instead of being rushed into something that you don't want to be rushed into. So I'm not gonna completely bash him for that. Marcos Maidana pulled himself out of a fight with me years ago, and his team set up the fight to get Adrian Broner. After that, 2 fights with Floyd, and look what he's doing. He's retired, and it debatably, arguably, would have never been able to happen if they didn't pull out of the fight and reassess how to move Marcos Maidana. So I know what you fans want, but as a fighter, these are people's careers at stakes, and sometimes people are going to want to have a little bit more control over it.
If you go to Brazil, go to Brazil 2016. Does Keith Thurman come on with the gold? They said pros could go to the Olympics.
It's like 3 rounds, something.
3 round, 2. I think it's 2 minute. 2 minute. I don't remember.
It's 3-minute rounds now. Yeah. I think.
No headgear.
Point system.
I don't know what the competition looks like for the amateurs right now. Obviously it's a 3-round fight. I'm a math guy. I break down fights. I titled Floyd Mayweather as the best 7-round fighter in the world. So what the Olympian's going to be is going to be the best 2-round fighter in the world. You have to win 2 rounds out of 3 rounds. You got to dominate, and you got to dominate quick. It would be fun. I gotta admit. I've rolled it around in my head, you know, what it would be like to actually be there and compete. Could it be dangerous? It could, you know. I mean, I was knocking out these kids and the amateurs with their headgears on, you know, and I'm knocking out plenty of pros, you know, and that they are amateur. My experience now is at a whole new level, and I could remake myself into, you know, all you got 3 rounds, you know what I mean? All I got, it's like a sprint. This is like a marathon. That's a sprint, you know. So it would just be interesting. It's a very playful question, and yeah, I give myself the gold.